Greetings, loyal minions, beautiful humans. Welcome to the Xshahr. We got exactly what everyone wanted, which is new heroes and a whole new family. Is that really what we wanted? I don't know. We are in the Astral Summons. We have a 1.6% chance of getting a legendary. We have a 0.5% chance of a legendary event hero, so extremely low. For each summoned legendary astral hero, you get another as a bonus. Just double the odds, and we don't need a bonus. It is a bit of a gambling chance. Legendary featured hero, 0.4%. Yeah, I don't know. More heroes. I am getting a little sick of reviewing heroes, I must admit. And this just goes into what I've mentioned before in some of my previous videos about just there are so many heroes that it's very hard to get excited for heroes when, you know, we're getting 4 or 5 new ones a week. But anyway, we have Paimon is the first one we are looking at. Paimon is the Astral Demons, a new family. So let's check them out. I try not to look too much at stuff that's released in beta, just because I'd rather be surprised when it comes to the game than knowing what's going to come out and then, you know, seeing it get nerfed or buffed or whatever happens on some of these things. So, yeah. We'll throw that max power preview on. We have a sorcerer. So that gives a chance to drop the mana generation, which is quite handy, but it's one of those things you don't notice all the time, but is very handy when it happens and affects the correct hero. Attack up Aether talent. Power creep 1248. But yeah, the family. So the new family, Astral Demons. Now we know the other Astral, the elves and dwarfs have pretty cool family bonus and passives. So for 1 or 2 heroes, the character gains 3 or 6% mana when taking special skill damage. This effect can activate once per turn, so that's pretty handy, always getting free mana. You do have to get hit with a special skill to give that mana, but that's handy. And yeah, 3%, 6%, it's nothing major, but could just be enough to push you over the line every now and then if you need it. 50-70% chance to cleanse a random cleansable status ailment from this character when receiving special skill damage. So I believe the doors might have been to dispel. I'd have to check that out. But yeah, 50-70% chance to cleanse. So that is quite good as well. Actually, no, the doors might have been the same. Keeping in mind, if you do cleanse something like the moth dust, it can actually work against you. Because it does then put you to sleep. Yeah, that's the family bonus. Passive, resist mana ailments. Character is immune to status ailments and negative stacks that affect mana generation. So therefore, what I just said about the moth dust is blah, because you can't get moth dust because it's a status ailment affecting mana generation. Plus also the status ailments are block mana or steal mana, and we have the perfect accuracy. I haven't said this for all, but I have no bloody idea why some of these heroes get a passive that says perfect accuracy, and some of them it says it in the description. It makes absolutely 0 sense. And shows to me, well, unless there's something I'm missing as to why the difference between a passive or part of the special, but I think it's something ridiculous that needs to be fixed because it just makes 0 sense, and to me just shows a lack of attention to detail or a lack of consistency. That's my spiel. I don't like to look too much of Paimon. He looks a bit boring to me. Cool artwork in general, just not specifically that one. I think the other one looks pretty good. Special skill, all the stats are looking pretty decent there. Blinding Injustice, running at average speed. Dispels buffs from the target and nearby enemies. Deals 440% damage to target and minor damage to nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get minus 50% accuracy for 4 turns. The target and nearby enemies deal 450 damage to a random ally if they miss special skill during 4 turns. Probably should say if they miss a spell. Anyway, if they miss special skill during 4 turns. Okay. So a fair bit going on. Dispel, prior to dispel, always handy. Boring hit 3 in regards to damage, but a bigger hit to 1. 440 to 1 minor damage. minus 50% accuracy for 4 turns, and the target and nearby enemies deal 450 damage to a random ally if they miss special skill during 4 turns. So, I like the difference in the fact if there's a miss, you're getting some damage. I like that. I don't know if it... For anyone who's watched my videos recently, you know that I'm looking at how I pair my heroes together. And generally that pairing, and a lot of people that play, especially at the higher level, it does come down to a pairing where you have 3 heroes of a color. Generally, I'm just generically speaking here. 3 heroes of a color that you know you can use to get some kills. You've seen it recently in my videos with my 2 Li Qs and lose Xshahr. Just insane damage, and you're going to kill a couple of people. I do the same with a couple of guardians, the Moth in a team. So how does this guy fit in? Dispelling is great. 440% damage to the target, minor to nearby. You're then giving blind, so he's more of a support hero. The way I'm looking at it. Because if you use him as part of a kill team, then the accuracy and the extra damage aren't really going to come into it too much. Obviously, there's scenarios where it will. Minus 50% accuracy for 4 turns. So you're doing 450 damage to a random ally if they miss a special skill. So there's so much unknown there. It's like, will they miss their special skill? If they do, which hero are they going to hit? So not something... I mean, fantastic hero, don't get me wrong. Any new hero is going to be fantastic. But I keep pushing, remember how they fit into your roster and how they're going to fit in. So I think Paimon would make a pretty good support because you're getting a bit of... If your main color hasn't quite got kills or there's someone left over, you've got a good hit, you're dropping their accuracy, so you're then, therefore, most likely meaning your team survives longer because there should be some misses, and you're just doing some random damage if they do happen to miss. So yeah, the things I don't like is if, you know, quite often you're going to be hitting a healer. Healers can't miss. There's so many heroes with this passive now of not being able to miss. Perfect accuracy. So all those things come into it. Because of that, I think he's not going to be fantastic as a tank. Can fit in other places on defense. I generally look at the tank as one of the most important things to consider when you're talking about defense. So, I mean, the blind is good for tank, but you're only hitting 3. You don't know which 3 he's going to hit when he's on the defense. And the same, you can't control any of that other stuff. So, really, really good hero. But again, please keep in mind where it fits into your team. All right, we shall move on to the other featured. He's Xshahr. I actually like the look of this one. He's looking pretty cool, I think. Gives me a bit of like Wishmaster vibe. Just, I know there's been different Wishmaster movies and some of them are trashy as, but just different graphics. But yeah, anyway, that's what my head's going to. Same power. We've got Barbarian, which gives the ability to put some bleed on. Not one of the best, I don't think. Probably one of the least impressive. Attack up Aether power as well. We have the same family bonus of the extra mana and chance to cleanse. Exact same passive. So that's all easy. We'll run through that pretty quickly. Very, very, reasonably balanced, but a little bit higher on the attack, which happens when you're fast. So this one is Lance of Torment running at fast speed. Deals 6-10% damage to the target. Boosts the caster's health by 40% of damage dealt. So a 610% hit, you're probably looking at 13 or 1400 depending on what else is happening. So 40% of that. You might boost yourself for 600 or 700, 500-ish. That's not too bad. The target receives Resonance for 3 turns. Resonance deals 284 damage each turn. Resonance deals additional damage that reverberates to random enemies. Damage can't reverberate on the same target twice in a row. Reverberating damage is reduced after each hit. Okay, so it hits one for 284, and then it basically bounces around to random 3 other random enemies. So it does reduce a little bit each time, but basically for 3 turns, so if you do 280 the first, just say it drops to like 220, 160, 100. What are you looking at? You're looking at maybe 700 or 800 damage, and you're doing that 3 extra times. It's interesting. It's all random, and then deals 190% damage to a random enemy at the end of each turn for as long as the caster has boosted health, and that side of it can't be dispelled. So that's got an awful lot going on as well. Yeah, that's it's so hard with some of these heroes to tell how that's going to work and where it's going to fit in. So it's obviously a good snipe. I prefer that over a hit 3 in some cases, especially on defense. The hit 3s can miss, but it comes down to what other skills you've got. Is it going to be a tank? Probably a little on the weak side for a tank, but it has got a lot going on. You wouldn't want it to go off more than once. Having said that, resonance can be cleansed. And the boosted health. So the boosted health isn't going to last all that long because generally, especially, if you're talking about defense, especially at tank, it's going to take some damage before it gets charged. So therefore, the hit might just get it back to full health. It may not be boosted. So it'd be handy in a team if you've got a booster already as a tank to boost it up, hide it away at the flank. Then when it goes off, that boosted health is going to sit there a bit longer, maybe even on a wing. You're doing all this damage as the follow-up. Again, my issue with that is it's all random, so it's just reverberating to different enemies. So you can't target the enemy you want with that. It is doing a bit of damage, though. 284 each turn. Does that go up? Yeah, so 400 per turn once fully maxed out. That is just crazy, the difference, too, between, level 80 and then level 80 with emblems and maxed out. Oh, sorry, level 90 with emblems. So 400 each turn. So we'll recalculate that because it then goes to 3 other random enemies. So 398, even if it drops to, say, 300. So you're looking at 700, 250, 950. So you're probably looking at maybe closer to sort of 12 or 1300 damage from that, plus the hit. And then another 190% damage to a random enemy at the end of each turn. Whew, that's a lot going on. That bit can't be dispelled. Oh, I think that's a really good hero as well. Again, where does that fit in? Because the thing is, the target's the one that receives resonance. So if you're setting this guy up as part of a stack, you're going to be killing the target. So either you've hit with other heroes first, or if you hit with this guy first, you're kind of then wanting to leave the target on there. So if you've got other follow-up hitters, so say you're running a 3 stack of greens, you've got this guy going off at fast, then you've got 2 other hitters afterwards, you kind of want to not hit the target you've just hit with Xshahr because you want that resonance to stay on there, and that goes on the target. So this particular bit's fine, that stays on you. But yeah, so I just find that for that reason, it's probably more suited to defense, because if you're taking it on offense, you're kind of wanting to take it as an off color. Or again, depending on your teams, you may not have the power to kill from your green hits, in which case it's going to help out a lot. But again, I'm sort of thinking at the level I play, the way the teams are designed, defense could be quite annoying if you can get it hidden away and have it with some other boosters. Because then it's every turn you're taking that extra damage and you're getting that resonance. You can cleanse that, but yeah, so another really, really good hero. As I said, it's getting, I find it ridiculous to give heroes rankings. I've never agreed with that and think it's, because it's just got so much to do with the rest of your roster and how you use the hero. Some heroes, especially on defense, you can say, yep, this is the best tank. for now, but it still depends on who it's paired with. So I just think it is so hard to do that these days. But yeah, he's definitely going to be a nightmare on that defense if you can't get rid of what he's doing. But again, there's so many cleansers, there's so many dispellers, there's so many everything in the game now that everything has counters, unless it's something brand new. And yeah, I don't see him being anything meta fantastic, but definitely a very strong hero. There is a 4 and a 3-star, so we'll have a very quick look at those as well. This guy looks pretty cool. Male, rogue. So really with the 4-star and 3-star, I'm just looking at whether they're damaging the right heroes. They're good for tournaments and or events. So fast speed, they're all going to be really good in regards to their stats. They're going to be so much better than any other 4 or 3-stars in regards to stats because they're new. 285% damage to the target, 60% chance for additional hits on a random enemies up to 3 times. Hit enemies receive resonance for 3 turns. Resonance deals 125 each turn. Resonance deal, yep. So I don't think he's going to be anything for events because it would be taking too much time for any of that to work. Tournaments will be definitely very annoying. Same sort of thing. You need to try and cleanse that resonance off. And the 60% chance for additional hits, it's one of those real risk-reward things. Sometimes it's fantastic when it works. Other times it's annoying when it doesn't. So that's Mel. He's a rogue. That's awesome. Got the same bonus there. So extra mana as a 4-star is fantastic. And the 3-star is Agaroth. He's a little bit more boring in the artwork, but cool enough. Paladin. So that's handy as a 3-star. Very slow. Again, the stats are going to be great. The caster gets taunt that prevents enemies using special skills. All enemies get minus 24% attack. All enemies get minus 24% defense. What's he got? So he has boosted regen. He doesn't have the auto taunt. All enemies get minus 24% mana generation for 6 turns. That seems very, very similar to other, I don't know. There's other heroes out there that do very similar. He does get the taunt, though, for 6 turns, which is huge, but very slow. Yeah. I don't see that being overly useful. In very fast, like a rush tournament for 3-stars, it's going to be useful having another taunt. Getting all that negative stuff on the enemy, but he doesn't have auto taunt either. So, Shrub Bear probably still just wins out from that auto taunt point of view. Yeah. Now I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Yeah, so again, handy's going to be good in those rush, but really 3-star, very slow. You're not going to use it in many other places. So if you do summons, hopefully you grab him just as an extra 3-star if you do the free coins from the event. I'm going to do a quick few summons now. For anyone who has been watching, I've been trying to limit the spend, but with the wilderness, I have been buying certain deals because there are really, really good heroes in the wilderness portal. So let's do a few pulls and see what I can get. All right, any of these featured would be great. We've got Thaffa, Vernix, Song Yang, and Stravia. I like them all. Probably Vernix, Thaffa especially. Nothing as yet. Or Song Jiang, I think, would be, I'd be happy with any of them. I do have a few pulls. Still getting crap here. I haven't had much luck when I've been pulling live lately. There we go with Kaylani. What have we got next? It's another yellow. It's Felton. Was hoping for Stravia, but no go. And we're going to get some more. Oh, fuck. You beauty. Shit. Do I keep pulling or do I stop? So I did actually decide to stop. Something happened as I was recording anyway. And I did stop doing the summons. I thought, no, I'll hold on to those summons. But the itch got the best of me. I did actually do the rest of them. I think I had about 12 left. I got absolutely nothing in those other 12, and I forgot to record them. But Vernix. I'll just have a quick chat about Vernix. I've reviewed him not long ago. He's really, I struggle. I don't have a lot of great blues. I don't have any of these Wildcat families, so he's going to be awesome. I've got some great heroes to pair him with in regards to an attack team, being Zavarfa and Riverfang. So the dot damage is going to be awesome, because that will mean he always gets this. Now, I think I might even try him as a tank. I'm struggling for a tank at the moment. So without having Frost on, he's not as good, but 260 damage to all at fast speed and some Frost damage is quite impressive. And he has also got the 9 life. So as a tank, I would have preferred Fafa as a tank because there's a lot more damage output. But I might try Vernix in the next war if I can get him leveled up, or her, sorry. I don't know why I keep calling those animals hims and hers, but, you know, it's got breasts, so I'm presuming it's a female leopard, because, you know, they have breasts. So yeah, I'll get Vernix leveled up and try as a tank, but definitely have a fantastic spot in an attack team, so you'll see that hopefully in the next war as well. As always, if you enjoy what I'm doing, check out my other crap. You may enjoy it, you may not. If you're doing summons, best of luck. I hope you get the hero you're looking for. Give your kitty a script for me. I'm off to the bloody bath. These reviews have taken so long, but yep, off to the spa bath to enjoy the rest of my night and finish editing and have a bloody good one.